bloodiest war on American soil. States versus states. Brothers versus brothers. Join hosts Bang and Dang as they take you battle by battle through the most divisive time in American history. Welcome to Battles of the American Civil War.
All right, welcome back to Battles of the American Civil War with your hosts, Bang and Dang, and it's time for the start of 1865.
It's over.
Thus means it's time to end this freaking nonsense of a war that shouldn't have been going on for the last 2 years, let alone the next 6 months that we still got, or 4 or 5 months, whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah. If you guys thought the last year, especially for the Confederates, was a downfall, these next 4 months are even worse for these guys. I think what we say, they win 8 battles or something out of the 50 or 60 that are here.
Maybe.
Yeah, so
It's terrible.
1865, not a good year.
War was over with 2 years ago.
1865, not a good year for the Confederates or Abraham Lincoln.
Right.
There was like 40 battles, and the Confederates won 6 of those 40 battles in 1865. So, yeah, but we're going to start off with Second Fort Fisher, which, if you remember a couple weeks ago, was a failed attempt to take over that fort. So they sent in somebody new, and then we got 2 basically the same battles, but different. They're called different. Got the Battle of Broxton Bridge and Rivers Bridge, which are concurrent with each other. They go hand in hand. This is going to be a real short one. We might even add on, depending on what the time is, might even add on the Battle of Hatcher's Run in Virginia, too, because that's a pretty short one. But we'll see what the time is, but definitely those 3. All right, guys, already know the drill. Go check us out on YouTube. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, give us a subscription. You get all our podcasts at one place, which is this and Outlaws and Gunslingers, a sort of true crime podcast that we do. And if you're listening on YouTube, go check us out on all the podcast stuff. Give us a review, share us with friends, answer that Spotify question. Starting out second battle of Fort Fisher, which was a successful assault by the Union Army, Navy, and Marine Corps. Look at those guys. Is this the first time all 3 of them worked together?
I believe so.
Could be. On the fort against, which was south of Wilmington, North Carolina, July 13th to the 15th. Wilmington was the last major port open to the Confederacy on the Atlantic Sea coast. Yeah. Ships leaving Wilmington via the Cape Fear River and setting sail for the Bahamas, Bermuda, or Nova Scotia to trade cotton and tobacco for needed supplies from the British were protected by the fort.
Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
I'd rather go to Bahamas or Bermuda. Well, I don't know about Bermuda, but Bahamas maybe. I don't even know then. Isn't it Bahamas right by Bermuda?
Somewhere around there. I remember, and even the Prohibition era, Bahamas, there were still pirates and shit.
All right, and plus that's some rough seas over there.
Right. Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
Based on the design of the Malakoff Redoubt in Sevastopol, Russian Empire, Fort Fisher was constructed mostly of earth and sand. All right. This made it better able to absorb the pounding of heavy fire from Union ships than older fortifications constructed of mortar and bricks. I mean, it makes sense,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I believe so. 22 guns faced the ocean. 25 faced the land. The sea-faced guns were mounted on 12-foot high batteries with larger 45 and 60-foot batteries at the southern end of the fort.
Oh, wow.
Underground passageways and bomb-proof rooms, they existed below the giant earthen mounds of the fort. Fortifications kept Union ships from attacking the port of Wilmington and the Cape Fear River. 23rd of December, 1864. Union ships under Rear Admiral David Porter, they commenced a naval bombardment of the fort. Little to no effect. 25th of summer, the not day of Jesus' birthday, Union troops under Major General Benjamin Butler, they began landing in preparation for a ground assault. But Butler withdrew them upon word of approaching Confederate reinforcements. He's like, we got some Rebs coming.
Okay. The Union Army returned in January. Yeah, that was when Butler failed.
All right.
And then he got relieved of command.
That's true.
Now, the Union Army returned in January, this time under Major General Alfred Terry. Terry was chosen by Lieutenant General Ulysses S. Grant to lead a provisional corps of 9,000 troops from the Army of the James.
Damn.
Rear Admiral David Porter returned with almost 60 vessels of the North Atlantic blockading squadron to the North Carolina coast after the failed December attempt. He was like,
that shit.
David Porter, this is the one, too, where they blame Butler, but Porter was the one that sent the ship in to get blown up.
Right.
And didn't send it far enough in to do anything, and then fucking that was before the land troops arrived, and somehow Butler got blamed for it, by the way, but, whatever.
Happens. Confederate Major General W.H.C. Whiting. He commanded the district of Cape Fear. He pleaded with the department commander, General Braxton Bragg, to send reinforcements. He said, please, Bragg. Well, Bragg, he was very unwilling to reduce his forces.
Just because he's an idiot.
Which he felt were necessary to defend Wilmington. He finally sent reinforcements from Hagood's brigade to Colonel William Lamb's garrison, bringing the total at Fort Fisher to 1,900 men.
Versus 900, all right.
Well, a division of 6,400 troops under Major General Robert Hoke was stationed on the peninsula north of the fort. Well, so you got an extra 6,500 sitting there. Whiting, he personally arrived at the fort and told the commander, Lamb, my boy, I have come to share your fate, and you and your garrison are to be sacrificed.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
All right.
Damn, that sucks.
All right. Well, Alfred Terry had previously commanded troops during the Second Battle of the Charleston Harbor and understood the importance of coordinating with the Union Navy.
Well, finally.
Right. He and Admiral Porter made well-laid-out plans for the joint attack, but you couldn't do that a month earlier with Butler, could you?
Right.
Terry would send one division of United States colored troops. Of course, they got to go out first, under Charles Payne, to hold off Hoke's division on the peninsula. Terry's other division under Adelbert Ames, supported by the Independent Brigade under Colonel Joseph Carter Abbott, they would move down the peninsula and attack the fort from the land face, striking the landward wall on the riverside of the peninsula.
Oh.
Porter organized a landing force of 2,000 sailors and Marines to land and attack the fort's sea face on the seaward end of the same wall, right?
Well, that's what you're going to do. All right. 13th January, 1865. Terry landed his troops in between Hoke and Fort Fisher. Well, the old rebel Hoke, he was unwilling to risk opening the route to Wilmington and remained unengaged while the entire Union force landed safely ashore. Jeez. The very next day, Terry moved south towards the fort to reconnoiter the fort and decided that an infantry assault it would easily succeed. 15th January, Porter's gunboats opened fire on the sea face of the fort, and by noon they succeeded in silencing all but 4 guns.
Oh, shit.
William B. Cushing, he would later write, such a hell of a noise I never expect to hear again. Hundreds of shells were in the air at once, all shrieking in the grand martial chorus that was a fitting accompaniment to the death dance of the hundreds about to fall.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
Well, during this bombardment, Hoke sent about 1,000 troops from his line to Fort Fisher.
That's it.
However, only about 400 were able to land and make it to the defense, while the others were forced to turn back.
Of course.
Around this time, the landing party of 1,600 sailors and 400 Marines, led by Lieutenant Commander Kidder Breeze, landed and moved against the point where the fort's land and sea faces met, which was a feature known as the Northeast Bastion. Bastion? The Union Army's original plan was for the naval force, armed with revolvers and cutlasses, little swords, to attack in 3 waves, with the Marines providing cover fire, but instead the assault went forward in a single unorganized mass.
Oh, why be organized?
Right.
Jeez. This attack led to a remark from J.A. Maurus, a surgeon in the 117th New York Infantry. He said this, not far in advance towered the frowning fortress, and, though no one saw, all knew that above, in imperial majesty, sat the angel of death.
Damn.
Ooh, they're like, it was there, but no one failed to realize it. This guy is a fucking poet. General Whiting, he personally led the defense and routed the assault with
There you go.
heavy casualties in the naval force. Oh. The attack, however, drew old rebel attention away from the river gate, where Ames prepared to launch his attack.
Just away from the river gate.
1400, he sent forward his 1st Brigade, under command of Brevet Brigadier Newton Martin Curtis, as Ames waited with the brigades of Colonels Galusha Pennypacker.
Right, Pennypacker. No penny pincher.
And also of the brigades of Lewis Bell.
Doesn't brevet mean
Brevet Brigadier?
in command by name only, or don't have the official rank?
Right, I believe their Brigadier General is hurt or injured.
Former type of military commission conferred, especially for outstanding service, by which an officer was promoted to a higher rank without the pay.
Oh.
So he's a brigadier general, but he doesn't get paid like a brigadier general. That's fucked up.
Well, that's bullshit.
We still got, like,
Good.
you got command at least, I guess. Dude, what? That's stupid. We'll promote you. I mean, I guess some guys did covet the
All right, the name.
more than the pay, I
Well,
guess.
they'd love to be boss.
All right. An advance guard from Curtis's brigade used axes to cut through the palisades and the abatis. Curtis's brigade took heavy casualties as it overran the outer works and stormed the first traverse. At this point, Ames ordered Pennypacker's brigade forward, which he accompanied into the fort. Oh, they're inside.
Uh-oh.
As Ames marched forward, Confederate snipers zeroed in on his party and cut down a number of his aides from around him. Pennypacker's men fought their way through the Riverside Gate, and Ames ordered a portion of his men to fortify a position within the interior of the fort.
Do it. Meanwhile, the old Rebs turned the cannons and battered Buchanan at the southern tip of the peninsula, and they fired upon the northern wall as it fell into Union hands. Ames observed that Curtis's lead units had become stalled at the 4th Traverse, and he ordered Fort Bell's brigade, but Bell was murdered by sharpshooters before ever reaching the fort.
Poor Bell.
Seeing the Union attackers crowd into the breach and interior, Whiting took the opportunity to personally lead a counterattack. Charging into the Union soldiers, Whiting received multiple demands to surrender, and when he refused, shot down. But severely wounded, and he might survive.
Porter's gunboats, meanwhile, helped maintain the Federal momentum. His gunners' aim proved to be deadly accurate and began clearing out the defenders as the Union troops approached the seawall. Curtis's troops gained the heavily contested 4th Traverse after this. Lamb began gathering up every last soldier in the fort, including sick and wounded from the hospital, for a last-ditch counterattack. Like, you guys get the fuck up.
Oh.
Just as he was about to order a charge, he fell severely wounded and was brought next to Whiting in the fort's hospital. I was like, hey, man.
Oh, man.
What are you doing?
Ames, he made a suggestion for the Union troops to entrench in their current positions.
No.
Upon hearing this notion, a frenzied Curtis grabbed a spade and threw it over Confederate trenches and shouted, "Dig, Johnnies, for I'm coming for you." About an hour into the battle, Curtis fell wounded while going back to confer with Ames. Old Pennypacker also fell wounded before the battle ended.
Not
shit.
Pennypacker. The grueling battle lasted for hours, long after dark, as shells plunged in from the sea, and Ames struggled with a division that became increasingly disorganized as his regimental leaders and all of his brigade commanders fell dead or wounded. Jeez.
Oh, wow.
Well, Terry then sent forward Abbott's brigade to reinforce the attack, then joined Ames in the interior of the fortress. Meanwhile, in Fort Fisher's hospital, Lamb turned over command to Major James Riley, and Whiting sent one last plea to General Bragg to please send me some reinforcements, Braxton.
Right.
This is why Braxton is an idiot and everybody hated him, by the way.
Yeah, I don't even know how he got a fort named after him. Still believing in the situation in Fort Fisher was under control, and tired of Whiting's demands,
I'm tired of this pussy asking for more people while everybody's dying.
Bragg insisted Dispatch General Alfred H. Colquitt to relieve Whiting and assume command at Fort Fisher. He goes, "You go get that whiny ass motherfucker.
Like,
Go get Colonel Whiting.
You're in charge now.
Right.
Don't ask me for shit."
Right. Shit.
Jeez.
9:30 p.m. Colquitt landed at the southern base of the fort, just as Lamb and Whiting and the Confederate wounded were being evacuated to Battery Buchanan.
Too late, old Colquitt.
At this point, the old Rebs' hold on Fort Fisher was untenable.
Yep.
The seaward batteries had been silenced.
Cricket.
Almost all of the north wall had been captured, and Ames had fortified a bastion within the interior.
Oh, shit. Terry, however, had concluded to finish the battle that night. He said, "We're getting it done." Ames ordered to maintain the offensive, organize a flanking maneuver, sending some of his men to advance outside the land wall and come up behind the Confederate defenders of the last traverse. Within a few minutes, the Confederate defeat was unmistakable.
Oh, wow.
Colquitt and his staff rushed back to the rowboats just moments before Abbott's men seized the wharf. Major Riley held up a white flag and walked into the Union lines to announce the fort would surrender. And this happened just before 10 p.m.
Wow.
Damn.
Well, Terry, he rode to Battery Buchanan to receive the official surrender from of the fort from Whiting. Oh, Bragg, he consistently denied reports that Fort Fisher had fallen until 1 a.m. on the 16th when he wired General Robert E. Lee. He said, "I am mortified at having to report the unexpected capture of Fort Fisher. No one warned me of anything."
Right. I didn't even get sent for reinforcements or nothing.
Right. With most of its garrison at about 10 o'clock tonight.
And
Particulars not known.
Lee's like, why is it 5 hours or 3 hours or whatever? And you're just now telling me this?
He's probably got to be thinking, what the is going on?
Bragg's been failing big time, big time. Him and Hood. And they both got forts named after him afterwards.
Where the fuck is Johnston?
He's dead.
Johnston?
Well, that was the other Johnson. He's like the advisor guy right now. He's not even in the battles.
Bitch.
Or no, he's down south because Sheridan's about to chase him.
Right.
Or Sherman's about to chase him after the Carolinas.
Right. By this very point, several Confederates had escaped to the other side of the river and had reported the fall or close to fall of the fort.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that shit's done. Like,
Sorry, guys.
I think it's over with the guys.
They're going to tell everybody this loss of Fort Fisher compromised the safety and usefulness of Wilmington, which is our last remaining seaport. They said, we're now cut off from all global trade.
Oh, shit.
Many of the military supplies which the Army of Northern Virginia depended on came through Wilmington. There were no remaining seaports near Virginia that Confederates could use practically.
Oh, man.
It's over with. Potential European recognition of the Confederacy was likely already impossible, but now became entirely unrealistic.
Yep.
The fall of Fort Fisher was, quote unquote, the final nail in the Confederate coffin.
Well, I mean, it was there the whole time, just waiting to get pounded in.
Pretty much. And then that happened at the courthouse.
1 month later, Union Army under General John M. Schofield, he would move up the Cape Fear River and capture Wilmington.
Sure would. We'll have that.
16th of January, Union celebrations were dampened when the fort's magazine exploded, killing and wounding 200 Union soldiers and also some Confederate prisoners who were sleeping on the roof of the magazine chamber or nearby.
Well, I would never sleep on the roof.
Wow.
Or nearby a magazine chamber, but...
Well, that's bullshit. Come on, guys. You got to be better than that.
Well, it's about to be even more bullshit.
United States Navy ensign Alfred Stowe Layton, he died in the explosion while in charge of a squad trying to recover bodies from Fort Parapet.
Oh. Although several Union soldiers initially thought Confederate prisoners were responsible, an investigation opened by Terry concluded that unknown Union soldiers, possibly drunken Marines, had entered the magazine with torches and ignited the gunpowder.
Oh, no.
Lamb survived the battle, but spent the next 7 years on crutches.
Oh, wow.
Whiting was taken prisoner and died while in federal captivity. We're going to get to these POW prisons.
Oh, yeah.
They have, like, literally 70% death rates in some of these fucking places, dude. It's crazy.
Insanity.
Meanwhile, Pennypacker's wounds were thought to have been fatal, and Terry assured the young man he would receive a brevet promotion, which we already said it's where the person gets promoted to wear the insignia of the new rank, but was paid the wages of his original. And he was going to be the brevet to Brigadier General.
Oh, look at that.
Okay. Well...
Pennypacker, he did not even receive a brevet promotion as Terry had promised.
Well, he did. Damn. Dun, dun, dun.
Pennypacker, he did receive a brevet promotion as Terry had promised. But on 18th February, year 1865, he received a full promotion to Brigadier General of Volunteers at the age of 20.
They're like, dude, you got injured and should have probably died. Why don't we just go and give you your pay?
At 20. Wow.
At age 20.
Fantastic. He remains the youngest person to ever held the rank of general in the United States Army.
Look at this guy. Huh?
Well, apart from Marquis de Lafayette.
Yeah, but that was in the Revolutionary War, and he's not even American.
Don't count. There were like 12-year-olds fighting in that shit.
Wait. Is he American? It's got to be a French. There was a French?
Yeah, the French helped.
He died in France. How the fuck this dude get named a general in our army? Is he the only foreigner to be a general in our army?
Very well could be.
General Commander-in-Chief came to Philadelphia, led the General Washington took Frenchman.
Yeah, Lafayette. You don't remember this?
Yes, I know, but I didn't know he was an actual full-fledged general.
I'm here
He became
to
a member
learn,
of
not
Washington
to
State, all
teach.
confusion regarding his status. Congress regarded his commission as honorary, while he considered himself a full-fledged commander who would be given control of a division when Washington deemed him prepared.
But Washington told Lafayette that a division would not be possible, as he was of foreign birth.
But he would be happy to hold him in confidence as friend and father. But still, so it was an honorary one.
Right.
No, say there ain't no way no fucking foreigner was anything in any rank in our army. We appreciate your help and all, but you know.
Newton Martin Curtis, he also received a full promotion to Brigadier General. And both he and Pennypacker received the Medal of Honor for their part in the battle.
But that ain't all.
Secretary of War Edwin Stanton, he made an unexpected visit to Fort Fisher, where Terry presented him with the garrison's flag. During this very battle of Fort Fisher, 51 soldiers, sailors, and Marines received the Medal of Honor for their actions on that very day.
That's a lot.
That is a very
That's a lot. Well, I mean, effectively ended the war, so yeah, they should all get them.
Yeah, terrible Braxton Bragg.
Yeah. How shitty does Butler
Right.
feel right now that
Right.
David Porter actually took out some of the guns, or most of the guns on the sea, and couldn't do that for him.
Right.
All of a sudden now he can do it.
That's bullshit.
Come on now. Well. That's going to lead us to the last two battles, Broxton Bridge and Rivers Bridge, which Broxton Bridge, February 2nd, coincided with the Battle of Rivers Bridge along the Salkehatchie River in Bamberg County, South Carolina. Union Army took part in the Carolinas campaign by departing Savannah, Georgia, for Columbia, South Carolina, February 1st, 1865. The Confederate Army attempted to halt the Union Army's advance by setting up several defensive positions along the Salkehatchie River, such as Rivers Bridge, Buford's Bridge, and Broxton's Bridge.
Fantastic. When the old Blue Coats, under the command of Major General William Tecumseh Sherman, reached the Confederate defenses on the 2nd of February, 1865, Sherman decided to send his left wing, consisting of the Army's 1st Division, under the command of Major General Joseph Mauer. He's going to go mower them down.
You would think after the hellacious Atlanta campaign and burning a bunch of citizens and homes and stuff, they would have took, well, I guess they did take, almost a month and a half off, so I guess.
Right,
But they marched probably the whole time.
Most likely. Major General Joseph Mauer, he said he was commanded to march on Broxton Bridge, while the rest of the 17th Corps would attempt to capture Rivers Bridge, which lay upstream.
Yeah.
The Salkehatchie River was the final defensive line before the old Blue Coats could march on Columbia. So the capture of at least one crossing proved crucial if the campaign was to be successful.
Well, that first skirmish of the battle occurred between a Union infantry battalion of the 1st Division and the Confederate cavalry, in which the Union forces proved victorious as the Confederate cavalry retreated behind the Broxton Bridge.
It's pretty bad when the cavalry of the Rebs can't win a battle anymore.
Well, they don't have nobody.
I mean,
all their best cavalry is still in Virginia.
If you come across Confederate cavalry, it was a definite loss.
Well, only on their jeb. But others were pretty decent, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, seeing this retreat, Major General Mauer ordered an attack on Broxton Bridge, but was repelled by the Confederates. Following this loss, Mauer ordered his troops to instead march 6 miles upstream to assist his comrades in the battles of Rivers Bridge.
Right.
There's like, okay, we'll go up there and assist these guys.
He only said we had to get one, so we're not getting that one. As a frontal charge was deemed impossible due to the rebels strongly entrenched positions, an attack was delayed until the very next day when the Union forces crossed the Rivers Bridge by plowing through a nearby swamp.
Shit.
At the same time, a small Union force had returned to Broxton Bridge to engage the enemy again in a flanking maneuver. This time, the attack proved successful, and as a result, the old Rebs, they had to abandon their positions and retreat toward Columbia once again.
Yeah, the Union victories at both of these bridges led to the occupation of the countryside north of the Salkehatchie River, obviously by the Union, as well as the ability to cut off the South Carolina Railroad, an important supply line from these
Got to be one of the
Confederates.
last supply lines. I mean, they're all pretty much
I think they might have still something in Florida, but how are you going to get it up?
Jeez.
The defeat of the Confederate Army at the Salkehatchie River was ultimately led to the capture of Columbia later that month, which we'll get to. The Union casualties were recovered shortly after the battle and were buried in the National Cemetery at Beaufort, South Carolina.
No shit.
Right. Currently, the Broxton Bridge location still bears the scars of the battle that took place in 1865.
Fantastic.
Some breastworks are still well preserved, as well as remnants of the Confederate defense line.
Perfect.
Awesome. A reenactment of the battle takes place yearly near the old battlefield.
Well, all right. Hell yeah. Good for you guys. Well, let's go on to the Battle of Rivers Bridge, also known as the action at Rivers Bridge. That was the 3rd of February, 1865. Major General William T. Sherman's Union armies marched north across South Carolina. About 1,200 Confederates under Major General Lafayette McLaws were posted at the crossing on Salkehatchie River. Union soldiers began to build bridges to bypass McLaws on the 2nd of February. The very next day, 2 brigades under Major General Francis Blair waded through the swamp and flanked the Confederates. McLaws withdrew toward Branchville after stalling Sherman's advance for only one day. and Sherman's forces continued moving northwards as it has been doing.
Yeah, well,
He was going to the state capital of Columbia.
They were going east first.
Right, but yeah,
Now they're going north.
a little pit stop.
In 1876, men from nearby communities reburied the Confederate dead from Rivers Bridge in a mass grave about a mile from the battlefield and began a tradition of annually commemorating the battle.
No shit.
The Rivers Bridge Memorial Association eventually obtained the battlefield and in 1945 turned the site over to South Carolina for a state park.
Fantastic.
The site is commemorated by the Rivers Bridge State Historic Site.
Cool, man. Earthworks used by the Confederate defenders are preserved at the historic site. A portion of the bluff overlooking the river, which is upon which several Confederate earthworks were located. It was significantly altered by the operations of a logging railroad that paralleled the Salkehatchie River during the late 19th century. I mean, logging.
I mean,
Got a log.
that's cool that all the earthworks and stuff still remain. I mean, it is South Carolina. How much development you got going on there? You know what I mean?
Right. South Carolina is kind of like Connecticut. What's there?
Connecticut is actually the
Who lives in Connecticut?
Connecticut is actually the headquarters for several billion-dollar companies.
It is. On the eastern side of Connecticut.
Well, right, because Connecticut's only an hour away from New York, man. We'll go to the Battle of Hatcher's Run, February 5th to the 7th in Dinwiddie County, Virginia. Back to Dinwiddie. Ain't been here in a while.
Fantastic.
It was also known as Dabney's Mill, Armstrong's Mill, Rawanty Creek, and Vaughn Road. Okay, it was one of a series of Union offensives during the Siege of Petersburg, yes, which they wanted to cut off the Confederate supply traffic at Boydton Plank Road and the Weldon Railroad west of Petersburg.
Yes, they fucking did, man.
The Union plan here was to send Brigadier General David Gregg's cavalry out to the Boydton Plank Road to destroy all the Confederate supply wagons they could find, while the 5th Corps and the 2nd Corps provided support and kept the Confederates occupied to the north and east.
Got to keep it busy, boys. February 5th, 1865. Gregg's cavalry rode west to Dinwiddie Courthouse and the Boydton Plank Road via the Malone Road, which was 2 miles south of Ream Station.
Oh, Ream Station.
5th Corps, commanded by Major General Gouverneur Warren, he moved southwest towards Dinwiddie Courthouse via the Rawanty Post Office, Billups Post Office,
Billups,
which is 1 mile north of Ream Station. 5th Corps crossed Rawanty Creek at Monk's Neck Bridge, and they took up a blocking position on the Vaughn Road between Gravelly and Little Cattail Runs.
Now I see why the battle is referred to as 6 different things.
Right, holy shit. They did that to protect Gregg's right flank and prevent interference with the operation.
All right.
2 divisions of the 2nd Corps under Major General Andrew Humphreys. They moved from the Halifax Road down to the Vaughn Road to Hatcher's Run. They shifted west to Armstrong's Mill, north of the run, to cover Warren's right flank. Late in that very day, the old Rebs Major General John B. Gordon, he attacked the 2nd Corps from the north and attempted to turn Humphreys' right flank near the mill. But guess what? As what's been happening this past couple months, he was repulsed. During that very night, the 2nd Corps was reinforced by both the 5th and Gregg's cavalry, which had returned to Vaughn Road after finding little supply wagon traffic on the Boydton Plank Road. This extended the Union line south of Hatcher's Run. Trouble.
February 6th, the 5th Corps lines were attacked by elements of Confederate Brigadier General John Pegram's division. A lot of names coming up we haven't seen in a while.
Right.
The Confederates were driven back, but a counterattack by Confederate Brigadier General Clement Evans stopped the Union advance.
Oh, shit.
Later in the day, Pegram's and Major General William Mahone's division attacked the Union center near Dabney's Mill, south of Hatcher's Run.
All right.
The Union line collapsed under the attack, but reformed north of the mill,
Oh.
parallel to Hatcher's Run.
Fantastic.
Pegram killed in the action.
Oh, come on, Pegram. First time I heard you, and you only here for fucking 45 seconds.
Right.
Son of a bitch.
February 7th, Warren launched an offensive and drove back the Confederates, recapturing most of the Union lines around Dabney's Mill that had been lost the day before. Damn, Pegram gone.
Wow.
Union troops extended their siege works to the Vaughn Road, crossing of Hatcher's Run.
All right.
The Confederates kept the Boydton Plank Road open, but were forced to extend their thinning lines.
Damn right they were.
April 21st, 1896, Union Assistant Surgeon
General.
Jacob Robb was awarded the Medal of Honor for his actions during the battle, and he was an assistant surgeon in the war.
Right. Good for you, Rob.
Civil War Trust and its partners have acquired and preserved 387 acres of the battlefield in 4 different transactions dating back to 1990.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, you know what? Give up, Confederates.
I mean, it's over.
Give up.
I mean, it's over.
It's just embarrassing on your guys' part at this point.
It's over. Sad news, Bears.
Yeah. Well, it ain't over till the old fat lady at the courthouse sings, unfortunately. But coming up next week, we'll get the Battle of Aiken in South Carolina. Oh, it's actually a Confederate win. Look at these guys.
Hey.
And then we got the Battle of Fort Myers in Florida. And probably the Battle of Wilmington, North Carolina. Probably even the Battle of Waynesboro, Virginia as well. So we got 4 different states, 4 different battles next week at least. So
Look at that shit.
And then after this, it's North Carolina, Virginia, the rest of the way pretty much.
Yeah, it's over.
So
It's over.
yeah, our next big battle coming up is going to be the Battle of Bentonville in North Carolina, and then followed by another big battle of Fort Stedman in Virginia. So got a couple good things to look forward to, some action, but I mean, like I said, it's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. And then we'll get into some profiles of some of these fucking people and show you the in-depths of people like Braxton Bragg and why he was hated and the dumb things that he did, and as well as many others. But we got a couple months before that happens. In the meantime, like I said, go check out our YouTube at Bang Dang Network. Links in the description. Or check us out on Spotify, Apple, all the podcast stuff. Give us a review, share it with friends, answer that Spotify question. We'll be back next week for the trials and tribulations of the Confederate Army. That's what we're calling it from now on.
Jeez.
We'll see you then. We're the monthly Michigan.